This PG-13 supernatural horror movie deals with grief and how to navigate that. Welcome to Spooky Families. I'm Sarah. If you are a fan of spooky content, or if you're like me, a parent of a spooky child, give us a follow. We do spooky recommendations almost every single day. Today we're going to be talking about The Boogeyman, which came out in 2023. It stars Sophie Thatcher, who I loved last year in Heretic. It also features David Dastmalchian, who I am a big fan of in Late Night with the Devil. This is based on a Stephen King short story called The Boogeyman, and it is about a therapist who lost his wife and his two children who are dealing with the grief of losing that wife. He has a patient who comes in and is dealing with the grief of his own, the grief of losing his child, and he brings in a supernatural entity called the Boogeyman who haunts this family. I really liked this one. Supernatural horror is not usually my favorite subgenre, but I found that this one was pretty scary, specifically because it's PG-13. It is tamed down a little bit because of that PG-13 rating, but I don't think that it is dumbed down, if that makes sense. So it basically is a little less scary than maybe a traditional horror fan would like, but I don't think that it dumbs it down for the audience. And with that said, I think that you could probably start showing this to your kid around 13 or 14 years old, maybe even 12, 11, if you have a child that you think could handle this movie. There are some really great acting performances in it, though. I really loved Sophie Thatcher. I find her to be incredibly relatable. Absolutely love her, and she really shines here. I kind of wish we had more David Dastmalchian, but that's just my own opinion. If you haven't seen this one, it is streaming now on Hulu, and as always, stay spooky, my friends.